Alright, in today's video we're going to talk about the Solstice event and the good parts and the bad parts. We're going to start with the good because there were some good things about it. First thing that was good is that there was the ability to farm whatever you wanted and get actual loot instead of just material like in the past. You could actually get loot from it, which was awesome, okay? That was absolutely awesome about it. We love the fact we go into solo ops, farm loot, but it would, you know, there were some issues with that, which we'll get to in a second. But then, same thing with Fireteam Ops, there were 3 options. Same thing with Pinnacle Ops, there was 1 option. And then Crucible had a specific mode and had it randomly change between it. This was a good system. I did like this. I also liked you could focus weapons before armor by just not buying the armor. You'd get a whole bunch of material, which then you could turn in and get armor. But if you didn't want to get the armor, you could focus purely the weapons. I focused the weapons for the first week and a half. Didn't get a god roll for any of them. Not even a slight god roll for any of them, sadly. Which has made me very depressed. And then I bought the armor halfway into the second week, and unfortunately, once you get armor drops, it does make your weapon slow down a lot. So, unfortunate. Armor seems to drop a lot more than weapons anymore. So, at least from my experience, that's what it appeared to be. Could have been just my RNG, but yeah. So as a whole, the fact you got material for the armor and then got the weapons to drop was awesome. It was awesome they were dropping at tier 5. It was awesome that lower level people could get tier 5s too, potentially. That was really cool. That should honestly be in the base game as a whole, but it was still cool to see. As a whole, the event technically was a success, without a doubt. It was good ways of farming loot. It was fun. It was enjoyable to a certain extent, which we will get into in a second. It was nice being able to do whatever you wanted for the most part, to a certain limit, but again, we'll get into that in a second. And you were able to actually just play the game and not have to go do a side activity. At the same time, to the bad, there was no side activity. And I know what I just said, you're like, well, it sounds like you didn't want to. The problem in the past was you had to go somewhere else, farm a bunch of material, then go into the activity to turn in the material by completing it. And that was a problem, which you still technically have to do now, but now you can just access it from the thing. You don't have to go to a separate activity to get the armor and stuff, which was awesome. I love that. I love it was powerful. I love you could easy access the armor, easy to get the material. Perfect system there. Not the problem. The problem is they brought a PvP exclusive mode, which I didn't really enjoy, but I mean, Scorched isn't a bad mode. Just every time I get in it, I only come against the Super Sweats. I swear there's no one else playing it but the Super Sweats on my servers. I watched some other people play it and had no issue like that, so I guess everyone else is just lucky. I don't know. But as a whole, they brought out a Crucible mode, didn't bring out a PvE mode. Well, the first thing is the focused modes for all future events, if there's a PvE or a PvP or both, which there should always be both, I think that's a great system, is they should have extra loot incentive. You should be guaranteed multiple weapons and multiple armor each completion. 2 armors, 2 weapons each time you complete it, I think would be fair. That way you're getting a little more. Both will drop at tier 5, if you're at that level, or able to get tier 5s. If it's a chance tier 5, one could have a higher chance than another. But if they're high enough level, both should guarantee a tier 5 for the armor and the weapons. They should also have a chance to give you powerful, which is something I did not like about the event, is nothing give you powerful other than if you bought the armor directly. But then while farming, if you got it to drop, the armor or weapons would never drop powerful. I hated that. I think they should still have a chance, because they're still part of the RNG pool. They should have a chance to drop. Yes, they're guaranteed to drop, but every so often you get a powerful one that should have a chance to drop for those weapons. I just think that'd be a lot cooler. The holofoils I also forgot to mention are really cool. I did like the holofoils. That was a really big dub too. Now the issue I had the most was the fact there was no event. There was no specific mission event. The other issue was they did limit you. Yes, you could play any of the different modes, Crucible, Pinnacle, Fireteam, or Solo, but unfortunately you were restricted in Solo Ops to 1 specifically, or Master Quick Play, but Master Quick Play is pointless for once you hit a certain level because it no longer gives you A tier gear. It is literally impossible to get, so it's just a waste of your time. So you really just had no choice but to farm whatever this was. So in this case, it'd be K1 Logistics today. Obviously, it's not because Solstice is over, but that sucks. I hated that. They should make it where you can farm any of these. And yes, I get it. People would go farm specific missions, like Caldera would have been what everyone would have farmed. I get it. But some people like other ones. I like Skywatch personally. I like the salt mines. I do them. K1 Logistics is very easy. Very somewhat fun depending on what it is. You can farm it too. So, as a whole, there was should have been more options. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't have limited you to just one for solo ops. It should have been either the top three like it did for fire team ops, or it should have just been all of them. Fire team ops, I do have an issue with because it being top three, these are random, and a lot of these in fire team ops suck, and there's only a couple of them that are really good. So something that would have been a great example of making it better would have been like, let's say, Onslaught. It has 3 chest sets. The final chest gives you actual potential powerful or higher level stuff, and you get 3 pieces from the final chest. I think they should have made it where Onslaughts, or any activity that has multiple chests throughout it, should drop after each one. It should drop the gear for the event, but it will drop lower level, right? But it'll still be tier 5 if you can get tier 5s. It'll still be the highest tier you can get, but it'll just be lower level, so that way it wouldn't matter. And then the final chest will drop gear, and that will be of level. And since you get 3 completion rewards at the end, you know, it's 1 chest, but it'd be kind of cool to see more loot from that, right? So either make it throughout it or more loot at the end of it, type of thing. So if it's an event or a mission that's very long, has a multiple chest, it should drop from each chest, or there should be a lot more loot at the end. That should drop like that. That way it balances out. Since it is a longer mission, you would get more loot from it, so it'd be worth it in theory. Pinnacles really just as a whole suck. There's so many exotic missions that are not yet in here for Pinnacle, and they really need to add them. But then it rotating every day, and it's horrible rotations to begin with, was just sucked. I really wish it would have been better. Hopefully they'll make it better in the future, because Pinnacle is like the worst designed one out of all of them at the moment. Some of these missions are super easy or super long, and you don't get rewarded either way. So just the same thing like Fire Team Ops, you don't get rewarded correctly. But if they should have just had all of these, just give it to you, because it really didn't matter at the long run. You can pretty much complete every single one of these in the same amount of time. Whisper's like the only exception to that. You can do it way quicker than all the rest. But all 3 of these are basically completed within 10 minutes. You can do like I think 7 minutes with them if you have a speedrunning team. But even if you don't, it's like a 10-minute run. I have not had a team do more than 15. Like the slowest team we've had did 15 minutes. The quickest team we've done it with is 7.5 to 8 minutes, somewhere in there. And when we have an average team, it's always around 10 minutes. So these don't take that long. So honestly, they should have just shared the engram at that point. All the Solstice engrams should have just shared. It's silly at that point. It really is. Let's see. The Crucible one, the issue I had with Crucible wasn't... Scorch, like I said, wasn't really my cup of tea anymore, but that wasn't the issue. The issue would be it would drop double loot, it would say, for it, because it would become the focused one, and it would have 2 engrams, but it would actually only drop 1. I don't know if that was a bug on my end, or if everyone else was getting double one. When I played it a few times, I did not get double engrams. Whenever it was focused, it showed double engrams, it would only give me once. And yes, I know it going to the Postmaster. It always goes to the Postmaster. Even when it was 1, it went to Postmaster. I did at one point did get 2 things that were Solstice, but unfortunately they were tier 4 for some reason, and it was a win, so I don't know why it was tier 4. Kind of weird on that front. But as a whole, when I did play Crucible, when it was a Crucible focused, a lot of the times I'd win, and it would drop tier 4, and then on losses I'd get tier 5. I do not understand how that works. There was definitely a bug going on. I don't know if everyone had that, or maybe that was just a me unique special moment for bug for me. I don't know. But it was quite annoying either way. Because getting tier 4s when you're of a level to get guaranteed tier 5 sucks. You know, you should be getting tier 5s. So, kind of hate that. As a whole, the event, yes, was a success, but they didn't let you have freedom to do what you wanted. I would have preferred to farm other things and had the ability to farm anything. I'd also prefer if we had a event, a specific mission for the event. A quick little mission, and you'd get extra loot, you know? You'd get a lot more loot. Or they could do something where it's double loot. That's another thing, is they didn't have double loot. So they could give it to everything and then have one rotate randomly that gives bonus loot. So that way you can farm whatever you want, but if you want to get that extra gun or weapon, weapon or armor, you could. The other issue I had with the event is the fact it only dropped armor. or weapon. When you got, it was pure weapons, which was awesome until you unlocked the armor. But once you unlocked the armor, it was weapon or armor. That system sucks. I think they should make it where once you unlock the armor, it's guaranteed to drop a weapon and an armor piece together. Always guaranteed. That is something else they should change. So as a whole, it was not a bad event. It had some issues, like I said, but it wasn't that big of a deal. At the end of the day, I think what they should do is make it where everything has the option to farm it, so you can just pick whatever mode you want or mission you want to farm, and you get it. They should have a specific mission that is random that will be double the event loot. That way you can go farm it. They should make it where you get a weapon and armor piece to drop when you unlock the armor. It should be both dropped at the same time, not one or the other. It's a horrible system because think about RNG. Armor seems to drop the highest in the game right now. At least for me, it's all I ever see is armor. I rarely see a weapon. It's very hard to level my weapons because it's very rare to see a weapon most of the time. And that sucks for me. So if they make it where you could drop weapon and armor, that'd be great. Then they could also make it where the armor and weapon have a chance to be pinnacle power or powerfuls. That would be awesome too. That way you just have a chance to it. They have the double loot thing, and then they have a specific PvE mode specifically for it that people can farm if they want. It should be a fast mode, 10 minutes at most. So between 5 and 10 minutes, and it should be a fun little interactive thing. It could be a special solo ops thing, you know. They could have a very special mode for solo ops, fire team ops, and pinnacle ops. Or just solo ops, very special mode that's very unique. I'd be fine with that either way, but personally I'd prefer to have more fire team based modes that are more loot wise, because that is the whole point of Destiny, is to make friends. That's literally what they quote. Yet solo ops has gotten the most love, whereas fire team ops and pinnacle ops has no love at all right now. And the loot system is horrible for them. So Bungie, please fix, please make better. But that's a different video, different issue as a whole. So yeah. But the whole Solstice event was a success. I do think it was great. There's just some tweaks they need to make it better, and it would be the best system ever for events. I'd really love that system for events. Bungie, please make it where everything can drop a engram for the event from now on. Please make it where it will drop weapons and armor when you unlock the armor. It'll drop both at the same time. Once you unlock the armor, that is. They should make it where there's a random one on solo, fire team, and pinnacle ops and crucible ops that is random double loot. It can be any of them, just randomly becomes double loot. And you can farm it if you want. And by double loot, yes, I mean it'll drop 2 weapons and 2 armor pieces. Not, oh, if it's dropping weapons and armor, it'll drop 1 weapon, extra weapon, or 1 extra armor piece. No, double loot means double loot, Bungie. It'll drop 4 pieces of gear for the event, whatever the event is. That'd be the best option. Please, Bungie, do these things and make it way better. And also, please bring a PvE mode for it next time. For any of the events. It'd be nice just to have one. We do like the events. Like, the community does like the events. Sometimes you make them, you mess them up and make them shit, but we do like the events overall because it makes uniqueness to the event. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment. Do you think my points were on point? If you think my points are wrong or I missed something, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Adios. Bye. Bye.